Hello my bookish besties and welcome into a super exciting video. As you probably saw by the title of this video, we are doing another corporate week in my life reading vlog, but today's reading vlog is specifically for Bookmas / specifically holiday vibe themed. So I think it'll be a good week. It is the week before Christmas, so I'm really thinking it's going to be kind of a slow, cozy week. I have some plans throughout the week too, so I think it'll just be a fun, exciting week anyways. Earlier today I did have book club, and if you watched my, what video was that? I'll put it up here in the cards. I can't remember what video. I literally just finished recording it. Oh, it's my reading vlog. So it's my reading holiday books vlog. If you watched that, you'll know that my book club did a Christmas book exchange. The book I got was Anyone But You, or sorry, Any Trope But You. Funny enough, I almost got this as an ARC on NetGalley back when it was available. So really excited to read this. I'm not usually a romance / holiday romance reader, but I do think this one sounds really good, and I'm pretty good friends with the girl who gave it. We do white elephant exchanges, so I didn't know I was going to be getting her book, but it made me more excited that it was one of my friends, you know what I mean? But basically, so the very first line says, best-selling romance author Margot Bradley has a secret. She doesn't believe in happy ever afters. Not for herself, not for her readers, and not even for characters for whom she secretly writes alternate endings that swap weddings and babies for divorce papers and the occasional slashed tire. And it says up here, it says she's running from romance. He might just be the embodiment of every book boyfriend she's ever written. I don't know. I like cheesy romance books sometimes. My friend, when we gave our books, if your book got unwrapped or whatever, you were supposed to kind of say why you chose it and what your thoughts on it were. So when I unwrapped this, she said basically she liked it, rated it 3.5 stars or whatever, and then said that every character needed to go to therapy, which was funny because I gave Magnolia Parks, and she was like, I think based on you liking Magnolia Parks, you're gonna like this energy. So I'm excited to read this. I might pick this up this week for a fun little wintry book. I think it'd be a fast read. Romances usually are pretty quick for me, so let's see. It's really short too, it's only 320 something pages, so yeah, 321. So yeah, I might pick this up this week. I am obviously in the middle of Beartown. I was reading this. This is the last thing I picked up in that holiday reading vlog. This morning I read, I think it was 40 something pages, because I stopped on page 20-ish and read up to page 72 or something like that. So I read about 60 pages of it, and then I will be honest, I mostly listened to it, so I did reread some when I got home. So I've read 60 pages, but technically I read 80 pages because I was rereading them, you know what I mean? But yeah, so far I'm really liking Beartown. It is just vibey enough, and it is the perfect time of year to read this. I do think some of the other books I want to pick up later this week, I kind of want to pick up Red City. The audiobook came through on my library, so I might pick this up. This would be a good one to read at work, I think, because I like to listen to audiobooks at work. So this could be a good one to take with me for work. Also, I've heard nothing but amazing things about this. I kind of would really like to also finish The Raven Scholar or Not Quite Dead Yet this week, maybe if I have time, or next week. Both of them I do have on my Kindle, so worst comes to worst, I could read them next week when we're home for Christmas. But The Raven Scholar, for example, this is technically on my 10 before the end. And I was doing a little bit of math today, and you know how many I finished? 2. But Beartown is on that list, so... And then also, technically, a book that's on the list is Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo. I just learned that I think the official release date for Deadbeat is on my birthday, which means I'm ecstatic, 1, because the 3rd book is coming, but 2, on my birthday. That's super cool, which means I do need to read Hellbent. It is on my like ASAP list. It's been on my ASAP list since I read 9000. It keeps getting kind of pushed back, and I'm over it. Like, it's getting read, like ASAP. Another book, kind of on my priority list for this week. Let me grab it. Piranesi by Susanna Clark. Again, this is on my 10 before the end, but also this book is just kind of short. I have the audiobook. I have the physical book. I think I could read it relatively fast. Not that I want to, you know, just blare through these books and, you know, blare through them, but sometimes it is fun to read stuff kind of fast so that I can read a lot. You know what I'm saying? Does that even make sense? I don't know. But anywho, I think that is my TBR. I do have a couple of other books sitting over there on my chair. I have The Second Death of Locke and Holiday Ever After by Hannah Grace. Those are also kind of on my radar, but I do think that these 2 plus Hellbent kind of take my priority this week. And then maybe these 2, depending on the vibes. I would love to get to The Second Death of Locke before the end of the year. Again, it's on my 10 before the end. But I do kind of fear that it might have to wait until January. Just because I think as of today, there's only like 16 or 17 days left of the year. And I just don't think that I can finish all of this in 17 days. I'm gonna try. Like, I'm gonna try really hard. But I also have to be realistic with myself. And the reality is, I'm a kind of slow reader. But anywho, stay tuned for the rest of this video to see how many pages I actually read this week. Cross your fingers that it's a lot so I can get through this stack here, and I will check back in with you guys tomorrow. Okay, it is now Monday. I will be super honest, I had an unexpectedly super busy day at work today, which is crazy because I kind of was thinking that since it is a pre-holiday week, like, nobody was gonna be working. Which, to be fair, I had a couple of really long meetings, and other than those meetings, I was pretty chill. But, like, why did I have, like, 4 meetings today? It's the Monday before the week of Christmas. Y'all need to chill out. Anywho, I spent a majority of the day listening to some YouTube videos as background noise, so I didn't really read a ton while I was free, but I did get 15 pages in of Beartown. So far, I'm really liking it. I kind of like just the slice of life, kind of boring way he tells stories. I personally really like that. I feel like I'm getting really attached to these characters. I'm about 87 pages in, I think, so a lot of people like don't feel invested. I already feel invested. That being said, I do sometimes think the way that he writes can be a little confusing because like literally mid-paragraph will switch POVs, and I do find that confusing sometimes. But I like the overall vibes and the story, and just some of the stuff he said in this so far are immaculate. There was a line earlier today that I almost underlined. Like, I kind of wish I would have. Let me see if I can find it. Well, okay, so like this one said, good workers aren't enough on their own. Someone needs to have big ideas as well. Collectives only work if they're built around stars. I really like that. I really like that line. There was another one, but I can't find it. But anywho, I'm really excited to finish this, or like read more tomorrow. I am getting a little nervous based off the first chapter, like what happens, who's involved. I'm scared. I have theories, but I don't want to say anything, 1, because spoilers, but 2, because if I'm wrong, I feel like that could be mean. But anywho, it is super late, so I don't think I'm going to read any more tonight, but I will update you guys some more tomorrow. Good morning, besties. It is Tuesday. We have a kind of long day ahead of us. If you are new here, Tuesdays, I'm so tired I like can't talk. If you're new here, Tuesdays are my work from home day, which means I usually try to be super productive, both YouTube, personal, and work-wise on Tuesdays. So today, kind of on the agenda, I have some like house chores I really need to get done. If I have a moment here or there, I kind of want to read a whole book, like if possible. I think it'd be awesome to maybe start like Piranesi or Red City and see if we can just like blast through that, since I have the audiobook to accompany both of those. And then I'll still read Beartown, like, you know, kind of in the downtime, but having a book with an audiobook I think would help today. And then I need to do some YouTube stuff. I have a couple of videos to edit for Bookmas, and I need to plan out and maybe record the video that's going out this Thursday, so my top 25 of 2025. It feels a little early to be doing that, honestly, because it's like, what if like Red City, Piranesi, Beartown, like what if some of these that I'm reading right now end up on that list and I just don't know? But alas, we're gonna do it. If I have any changes, I can update y'all in another video, you know what I'm saying? But I think there was one other thing on the to-do list, but I forgot. The big ones are editing and reading and house chores. But anywho, grab your caffeinated beverage of choice and let's get working. The strawberry sunrise is just so good. Okay, so I thought I'd do a reading check-in of Piranesi. I am 40 pages in, to be exact, and I fear I'm a little bored. I'm intrigued, but like I don't know that I'm obsessed, at least not yet. This is one of those books that if you didn't know, everyone says to go in blind, but I feel like going in blind is almost doing me a disservice. Like I don't know what to expect, but in a bad way. Anywho, I'm gonna keep reading. I only have like an hour and a half left of my audiobook, it says. So I think I'll just crank this out. It's way later than I meant to read this, but I had some errands I needed to run earlier, and I had a busy work day. And I will be honest, I did doom scroll quite a lot today too. But either way, I do think that I can finish this today. I'll update you guys, obviously. Okay, hello, it's Thursday evening. I have not updated, I think, since Tuesday. I believe the last time we spoke, I had just finished Piranesi, and even then I don't think I spoke to you. I think that was like I finished it. You know what I'm saying? But I spent most of yesterday contemplating what my rating for Piranesi was. I think I settled on a 3. Once I get home later, I'm currently on the way to a movie. Once I get home later, oh my god, I will give y'all my full thoughts and full opinions on Piranesi. But yeah, I spent a majority of the day at work yesterday, like researching other people's reviews so I could think like an actual thought out opinion, because I didn't want to like rush into anything. And then today I did a lot of stuff. I worked from home, but my husband was also home, and we are going out of town in a couple of days for Christmas. So when I wasn't like knee deep in work itself, I was doing, you know, home/preparation stuff. Like I wrapped my last minute presents. Speaking of, I have some presents here in my car for Olivia and Ashley. Those are my friends from my Lubbock book haul video, if you remember that one. And we are currently on, I need a better like way to stabilize my phone in the car. It is like just leaning against my purse on the dashboard right now. I didn't mean to put on my blinker. Oh my god. Okay, anywho, we are going to go watch the new Housemaid movie. Is that what it is? The Housemaid? The one with Sydney Sweeney and the lady from Mamma Mia. We are going to go watch that. I will update you guys with our thoughts and opinions, and I'm really excited to see them and give them my gifts. By the time this video is published, I will have already given them their gifts, obviously. But I'm a little scared to give it to them. I'm like nervous, like what if they don't like what I got? I got the 3 of us matching blankets, And then with the matching blankets, I got the three of us a copy of the book Dire Bound. They don't usually read fantasy, but my thought process here was it's a book that I know none of the three of us have read or own. And it's very similar to Fourth Wing, which is a book I know all three of us loved. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to buy a book that we could do buddy reads on. Because originally I was going to get them each, their own unique books and vibes. But then I got scared. I was like, what if they already own the book I pick out for them? So, alas, here we are. I will update you with how the movie is and our final thoughts. But, yeah, I just figured I might as well update. I literally haven't read the past, 48 hours-ish since finishing Piranesi. So, I'm hoping tomorrow is a slow day at work so that I can get in some good reading time. Okay, actually that movie was surprisingly really good. They followed the book almost exactly. I'm sure there's some changes, my friends and I talked about it after, and there was definitely a couple things we remember differently, but I thought they followed it really, really well, and the acting was surprisingly good. I think the highlight for me though was definitely Amanda Seyfield. I love her, and she just plays a psycho so well, it's crazy. Also, my friends like their gifts, so really happy about that. We're gonna do a buddy read, I think, so it'll be super fun. I leaned on my eyeliner. Do you see that? Do you also see that? Anywho, the reason I popped in was to let y'all know that I got a Minky Couture blanket, and it has changed my life. That being said, it is another day of updating without reading. Today, I'll be honest, I think I mentioned this for yesterday's update too, but one of the guys at work was retiring today, so we spent a lot of time today hanging out with him, hearing stories, learning life advice, just kind of doing the thing. And then I was busy with work itself, obviously. And then when we got home, my husband and I did our Christmas together with us and our dogs, because usually the stuff we get each other is stuff that's going to stay at our house, so we always just open it here so that we don't have to pack it to take home and then open it to bring it back, if that makes sense. So we did pre-open our gifts already, and one of them was this Minky Couture blanket. It's technically from his parents, but same philosophy. They said I could go ahead and open it now because it is massive and the box is massive. And anywho, all that to say, I haven't read since I finished Piranesi, which also I lied in yesterday's clip. I said I would come in and give y'all a full review of Piranesi. So here we go. Also, I'm sorry I'm laying down. I am just so comfy with this blanket. Anywho, here's the full Piranesi review, okay? And skip ahead. I'll put a little image up here in the corner so that you can kind of scroll and see when you can see again. But skip ahead because this will be spoilery. Okay, are you gone? Hope you're gone. Anywho, Piranesi is one of those books that's good, but I think it is severely mislabeled. I personally don't think it should be labeled as a fantasy novel. I think it should be labeled as a true crime mystery type thing. The only part about it that was fantasy was that the guy was making up stories in his mind, which isn't even fantasy. It's revealed that he was kidnapped and is crazy, and y'all are telling me that that's fantasy? No, that's a guy that needs to go into a mental institution and get help because he's clearly got problems after being traumatized for so many years, after being kidnapped. And then the ending of the book, it pissed me off so bad. What do you mean? He, like I said, is very clearly traumatized and needs some help. And they're just letting him walk around, kind of making fun of him, haha, hee. And then he visits one of the other victims and is like, hey, let's go back to the house. What? I woke my dog up when I when I screamed like that. I'm sorry. But anywho, I'm sorry. I just think that at my core, I'm a hater. One of my friends said it's because I have a contrarian attitude, which is right. But anywho, this is a realistic week as a Corporate America Girlie holiday edition. So if y'all expect me to read a ton, honestly, maybe you should have expected me to read a ton because, like, work's been really slow. But tomorrow, I think I'm going to read a ton tomorrow because we have lunch plans with our friends in the afternoon. And then after that, we are going back. And once we get back to home, like my parents' house, I will have all evening to read. I'll read probably some tomorrow in the car. I got a little scared because that's my dog's favorite word, and usually when I say that, she comes running. But yeah, I think I'll get some good reading in tomorrow. We do have a family, or I call it my family. We have a friend's Christmas party tomorrow, so that should be fun. But yeah, I don't really know how much reading we'll get done. Like I said, I do have some stuff I kind of need to get done tonight. Yeah, So I guess I'll update you tomorrow with what actually happens. And then this video is like going up tomorrow. Like the day you're seeing this is gonna be tomorrow, Saturday, which is also the day I'm going to finish and edit and post this. Did that make sense? I don't know, but like this video is going up tomorrow, so anywho, that's the update for today. I'm so tired. But anywho, my final update, I only ended up reading about 300 pages of books this week. I had such a crazy, busy, but fun and nostalgic week. And speaking of, I'm now going to head to a friend's Christmas party, and I will update you guys in the next video. See you tomorrow.